What is up, guys? Today's video is all about
going vegan.
Yes, it is about how to become vegan,
How to do it properly as well.
what are the challenges you might face, and
Yeah,
kind
what
of,
are the big misconceptions?
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of misconceptions going on there.
yeah, especially if you start telling people that you're vegan, you will hear a lot of responses about that. We want to share a little bit of our story, how we became vegan. So let's dive into it.
People, when I talk about vegan, they're like, how the fuck did your ghetto ass turn vegan?
All right, so it sounds like we're vegan for super long, but let's be honest, we're not that long vegan yet. When did you start to become vegan?
I think like 10 months ago, but then I wasn't like I think like completely vegan. It's been 4 months now since I haven't eaten any meat or dairy products. But in the past 10 or 11 months, I ate maybe, I think 3 times meat, 3 or 4 times, and like maybe once or twice dairy products. So it's been like a slow transition.
Yeah, I think for me it has been a little bit the same. I was a vegetarian for quite a while. When I moved to Berlin, it's funny, we work at the same company. We all eat vegan there. And that was kind of also the moment I transitioned fully to being vegan, which is like 5 months ago, something like that. So not that long ago, but I think it has been a good path so far. Once you really start with it, you become very aware of it.
Yeah, the funny thing is though that it was more like a natural progression. Like I never made the conscious decision to become a vegan. It just, for some reason, it happened. It's not like when you're smoking and at some point, like you say, tomorrow I'm going to stop smoking. And then 30 days later, you notice that it's become a habit. But in this way, it was more like a natural progression, because my boss is a vegan. So we went for vegan lunch. But then I was always eating meat at dinner. And I was still eating my milk and my dairy products in the morning and yogurt. But then at some point, for some reason, I didn't even notice when it really occurred. But at some point, I also ate dinner vegan. So my dinner was vegan. I ate a vegan breakfast. And I ate maybe weeks meat like every couple of weeks or like once a month or something. So it was more like a very slow and natural progression. And I can't really tell you at what date and around what time then it started to become like a real habit.
I think we talked about this earlier, that everybody probably has different reasons why he goes vegan and how it happens. I think what you probably have to focus on is you have to find your own reason to become vegan or to be vegan, because that is what instills in you the belief that is the right thing to do, right? Only if you really believe it's the right way to go, you will keep up with it. Because if it's more like you read somewhere that you should be vegan, but you actually you're not buying into the whole idea of it, it feels very forced, right? And it's like you if you want to stop smoking, like you just said, but you actually still consider yourself a smoker, it's always like with force, right? You have to like kind of get the right mindset for yourself of why you become a vegan at that point. I think for me personally, it was also more of a kind of natural progression. At some point I just was like, okay, I'm stop eating meat. There was not even a real reason for it. That's when I turned vegetarian, and then kind of like really the natural progression just was also being surrounded with the similar people that you go vegan at some point, you try it out. And I think we also have I think a very just good ground for being vegan, because we are just surrounded with these topics a lot, so it makes it very easy for us. We eat very good. We talk about it a lot. We think about it a lot. I think what we both share is the whole idea of vegan for health and fitness.
Besser Sad asks, advice for vegan lifters? Pick a side, Gandhi or Gandhi?
Yeah, so the main reason for me and myself was to become vegan was pretty much for health reasons. And it's a very nice side effect that you're also helping to prevent all the treatments of animals and the mass slaughter of animals. So that's a nice side effect. The main focus is on health and fitness, of course, because I noticed myself. So usually I was sick a lot, and usually I think 3 months out of the year, which sounds crazy, but it's true. So usually almost a quarter every year I was in bed sick, and it was worse when I was 16 or something. And now I notice, I mean, in the last 12 months, I haven't really been sick, maybe one day, and then it goes away super quickly again. I mean, we have a lot of super foods and special things that nobody has ever talked about, that we're also going to talk about in a couple of other episodes that are definitely helping. But I think one of the big things is definitely the vegan food, pretty much. It makes you so healthy. And yeah, I mean, like when you don't get sick anymore, and you can go to the gym all the time, the consistency is just amazing, and it definitely helps to grow and to become a better person in any type of sport.
And there's also the thing we talked about the other day is there's this conception that if you're vegan, you have to kind of limit yourself to certain types of food. But what we kind of discovered also when it comes to breakfast food and when you have cereals, right? What we do nowadays is just we like combine awesome kind of superfood type of stuff with soy milk and maybe banana or something in it, and you get like the same type of crunch that you get from cornflakes. You get maybe the same feeling of a like breakfast cereals that you had like from your childhood, but it's only good stuff in it. And then you eat it and you just think like, okay, first of all, this tastes great. It has the same like typical breakfast feeling, but at the same time I just also know it's so amazing for me. There's nothing bad in it. Like it only consists of good stuff. And that's as you said earlier, right? Like once you start eating all this, like because there's a good way of being vegan and there's a bad way of being vegan. Obviously, like with everything, you can go wrong, and we're going to talk about this in a second, how to not be vegan basically. But like once you go the good way and you eat like all the good stuff that you feel has the benefits, you get like also so many vitamins and minerals and whatever the food has, right? And then you just start feeling so good that there's like just no way of going back. And you think like, I have the same taste or even better, and I have all the benefits from the health, so why would I even want to go back?
And the cereal as well. I mean, compared to all the other regular cereals, this one is also ketogenic, the way you prepare it. So for all you ketogenic vegans out there, the new recipe is coming soon, so stay tuned for the video. But yeah, let's talk about one of the common misconceptions, which is protein.
I got you guys a protein shake.
Awesome, I love protein.
I know you love protein. I love protein too.
So one of the things you hear a lot when you become a vegan or when you talk to vegan, even myself when my boss became a vegan and we went to the gym together, I always thought like, I mean, how can you get enough protein from vegetable sources? And vegan source doesn't really make sense. So everybody's gonna be like, man, where do you get your protein from? You cannot get enough protein on a vegan diet. It's impossible. But I think seeing my boss, he's huge. He's huge, right?
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
and he's just like getting bigger and bigger.
I think he's about 220 pounds, 225 pounds. And he's 6'2". So he's a huge guy and he's super strong. And his progression in the last 12 months, he hasn't been lifting in a very long time. So it was his first time in 10 years. And he made the progress that some people do in 3 years. He did it in 1 year. I mean, I'm not attributing it all to the vegan diet completely, but definitely it's been a huge impact as well. And it shows me, it gave me a good example that it's very easy to build muscle on a vegan diet. So because usually that was my misconception as well. And so that definitely helped to convince me as well to just switch. Because in the beginning I was kind of, I didn't really believe in it.
Which is also, I think, like now what our own experience is that like you still work out, right? Like we focus a lot on sports, and we do it now everything on a vegan diet. You don't seem to have any like negative side effect to it. You don't feel like you're missing anything. Quite on the contrary, it's rather that you have actually maybe a bit more energy even, or you feel more satisfied throughout the day. You don't have like the craving for sugar and sweets, and you don't feel like you need to have cheat days. Interesting concept now talking about it, because we don't have cheat days anymore. We used to have them like a couple of years ago, where you feel like, okay, I'm sticking to my diet, and then like once a week I have a cheat day where I eat pancakes and this kind of stuff. But now, since we're on a vegan diet, what actually happens is that we eat so good, all the stuff we eat is so good, that there's no cheat day in a sense, because no cheat day can be better than what we eat. So every day in a sense is cheat day, but it's just like great food. Like you wouldn't consider it like a cheat day in a traditional sense, I would say, right?
So what are the common protein sources for vegans? Definitely lentils. For me, it's lentils. I mean, I'm a big fan of having food that's easy to do, like that takes less than 30 minutes, for example.
He's preparing the
But
best
nice.
lentils of the city.
So yeah, that's why they call me Lentil Lucas at work. And yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in making quick and easy, but also delicious recipes. I'm not. I like cooking, but I also don't want to spend 5 hours in the kitchen to prepare one meal. So I definitely choose from all the legumes. I take lentils because they take only I think 10 or 15 minutes until they are cooked. When you do chickpeas or kidney beans, when you make them fresh, it takes hours. So I prefer lentils as well, and they have a lot of protein. I think it's 27 grams per 100 grams, and yeah, that's so my main staple pretty much. But then you also have the protein powder, where we get we mix pea and hemp pretty much. Pea has 82. I think 82%.
Around 80%, a bit more, yeah.
Yeah, but 82% of protein. Hemp has about 56 or something like that.
Something like that.
So that's a lot of protein, guys. And because it's combined, you get all of the essential amino acids pretty much. And
This is coming to that topic, I think, because we're more concerned now with what is actually in the food. So we started to buy protein powder that was already like mixed and everything. But like once you look at the ingredients, you always see there's like some sweeteners and like stuff you actually don't want in it, because if you read about it, you see like it doesn't really promote health much, right? So we came to the idea, you know what, we're just gonna buy the main ingredients ourselves, and then we just mix it. So we just mix pea protein powder, hemp protein powder, maybe sunflower seeds or something else, right? But like those are kind of the main things, and it just tastes pretty good if you just like mix it together. Yeah. They're not as sweet as like what you used to, but once you get used to the taste, it's like I actually prefer it now.
Yeah, you have to get used to the taste for a little bit, but then afterwards it's nice. It's just a very clean flavor, pretty much.
I think so too. It's really clean, and you can mix it with soy milk, for instance, and gives it like a more creamy flavor. Which is another protein source, actually, soy, of course, right? Like soy milk is like one. It's not like that we drink liters of soy milk, but we do drink a little bit every day, I think. Soy flakes is a very new discovery we made, which are really rich in protein. This is like one of the things we put in the cereals. It is like really crunchy. Tofu, of course, made of soy. We don't eat it that much. But once in a while, we eat a little bit of tofu.
So yeah, that's why in the breakfast cereal already you have about 50 grams, 60 grams of protein. Then for the lentils for lunch, you get 50 grams of protein. Then you take a protein shake, you get another 50 grams of protein. And then you have your dinner, which is usually maybe like kidney beans and a salad, which is another 30 to 50 grams. So it's easy as a vegan with 3 main meals and a shake to get around 200 grams of protein, which is pretty much, I mean, it's pretty sufficient for most people if you don't want to look like a Ronnie Coleman. But for most people, that's enough, I would say. And it's delicious. There's so many different options to choose from.
And there you have it, all the protein that you need. Make sure, especially if you eat, try to like limit chickpeas. They make you like bloat. Lentils, make sure to soak them in water the night before. They also can make you bloat, just, prepare it a bit with more care, but then you're fine, A great thing we discovered also is lentil pasta, which is basically like pasta made from lentils, so it doesn't have gluten or anything, but it's super rich in protein. It's like 27 grams also on 100, so you eat 250 grams of pasta, you have like around 60 grams of protein. It's insane, just from the pasta.
Yeah, that was the best discovery of
I think so.
2018, I think.
So if you haven't checked it, try and go for red lentil pasta or green lentil pasta. But red is better, I would say.
All right, so we're not only about being vegan, but also about being a healthy vegan and a fit vegan, focus on fitness and health. So what are some of the things you have to keep in mind when it comes to that?
Yeah, there's like I think a misconception sometimes that everything coming from plants is healthy, which would basically mean if you eat French fries because it's vegan, you have a great health benefit, right? But we all know that like French fries... Sugar is vegan, right? All the gluten stuff like wheat, white bread is vegan.
Meat substitutes.
Yeah, like Nutella, if you put like thick Nutella on your bread is vegan, I think.
Well, there's milk.
Oh, there's milk.
I mean,
so it's not vegan.
You can make like a vegan alternative, which is still full of palm oil and kind of stuff. You can make your own. With just melted chocolate and but
the point being, right, that like there's so much processed food which they claim to be like vegan and people think it's healthy just because it's vegan, but there's so much bullshit in it. So like, guys, first of all, always look at the ingredients, especially of like processed stuff. I would avoid processed stuff anyways. Don't go for like meat replacements, because a lot of people think when I go vegan, I just replace the meat with something that looks like meat and cook exactly the same thing. And by doing that, you're just buying processed food that has a meat-like shake, and consists of like a lot of stuff you don't want to have in your body, right? So this, I think, is what we consider like the wrong way of going vegan. The right way is rather really focusing on the fitness aspect and the health aspect, meaning that you just eat the stuff that you know is good for you, and you try to avoid like all the processed bullshit and sugars and easy carbs and so on, right?
Yeah, and there's some secret superpowers as well. I mean, if you go vegan, you can do it the wrong way. You can eat a lot of fries. You can eat a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sweets that you can eat as a vegan. You can eat vegan cake, which is full of sugar and all and wheat flour and all this kind of stuff.
You won't get gains by eating too much cake, even if it's vegan.
No, and we're all about being healthy as well. Like not being sick anymore. No more colds. No more flus. Like I'm over that stuff.
Yeah, we're sick of being sick.
Yeah, we're
sucks.
sick of being sick. So one of the superpowers is kombucha. Any type of fermented thing, pretty much. Fermented black tea, fermented vegetables like sauerkraut, kimchi. This is a fermented tea that we drink. I think at work we have 5 of these glasses.
Yeah.
So we drink a lot of this stuff.
We're gonna make a video on how to do it and like what are the benefits of it. But just Google it if you don't know it yet.
Then there's stuff like special kind of teas that prevent being sick. There's a lot of superfoods.
Spices, like so many spices that you can add to your food, like turmeric, ginger, of course, and anything like herbs that you put in stuff. Parsley. I don't know. Too much to think of right now, but we will talk about this in different videos. But those are the type of stuff you want to eat in your food. Good oils. How to use the good oils, right? Like avoid all the refined oils like sunflower oil, processed sunflower oil, and like what are the other ones? I always forget them. But basically all the ones that like, you know, they're like really cheap in the supermarket, and you think like, how do they actually do like oil out of sunflowers? Look at the videos and you will see like, oh shit, I don't want to put that in my body. Go for the good stuff.
And sprouted stuff, pretty much.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Super healthy. If you sprout, you can buy them sprouted at the store. You can sprout your own grains, legumes, anything, pretty much. However, when you become vegan, there's going to be some challenges.
It's not that vegetable eaters are bad people. It's just that they're terrible people.
I think one of the challenges you will have is definitely when it comes to maybe being around people that are not vegan. Because as with everything new that you start and something that challenges the belief system of other people before you or next to you or whatever, they will try to find the fault in it, and they will try to tell you that it's the wrong thing to do, that you're lacking protein and whatnot, right? So this is also what comes down to like your reason for being vegan, right? Like it has to be firmly grounded in your belief, in your reason, in order to be up against all the criticism that is going to come. Because let's be honest, you will always face criticism, and only like that set of beliefs that you have in being vegan will help you with just continuing with it. How do you deal with people when they tell you like, why are you vegan? It's stupid or something like that, or it's so difficult?
Well, usually, I mean, I just don't really engage in this kind of topic, I would say. The thing you're gonna get a lot is that a lot of people are gonna tell you're gonna hear a lot of talking about that you're lacking something, even though it doesn't. I mean, you're not really lacking anything. Yeah. And you wonder why so many people are telling you that you're lacking protein, you're lacking this vitamin, you need iron from meat, all this kind of bullshit you're gonna hear. And usually you hear it from people who are like, when you just look at them,
so funny.
Like usually they are fat. They cannot walk up a flight of stairs without like.
A lot of them tend to smoke as well.
Yeah, we have people at work. They smoke 1 pack a day, then they drink. They eat hamburgers. They eat French fries every single day, stuff like this, and then they tell you.
You need a balanced diet.
Yeah, vegan. The stuff that you're eating is not good for your body, and they look like their skin is bad, and yeah, that's why. I mean, like usually I would say don't even engage in it. Find some people who who accept you for who you are. Don't try to force your belief system on them, because everybody
Yeah, don't be that guy.
everybody hates vegans, because there's so many vegans who tell other people like, you should die because you're not being a vegan, like you're a terrible person, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just don't really mention. I mean, of course you can mention it, especially when you go to a restaurant. You say like, I want to get to a restaurant where they have vegan options as well. But don't be that guy who criticizes everybody when they eat some pork or whatever.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
yeah, that's one of the big things I would say. Don't even engage in this kind of stuff. Just look for people who respect you for who you are. And also maybe look for friends who are open to this kind of thing, so you can do it together, because it's definitely easier when you have vegan friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you live in a big city and you go out to eat, it's like in Berlin, it's pretty easy to go out. Almost every
I
restaurant
think
has
it's almost the best vegan city you can have. So we're very spoiled in that sense. It's probably more difficult in a way if you live in a smaller city, in Germany especially, which is very meat focused.
But otherwise, I would say like when you don't have this kind of environment given, and I would just say prepare your meals for the day, bring them to work, and then also always be full pretty much. So every time you go out with your colleagues, for example, to a restaurant, make sure that you ate already before, so you don't get into any cravings, so you don't eat the French fries or stuff like this. Because in some places the only vegan options are a piece of salad and French fries.
Yeah, that's actually that's a real challenge, that if you go eat somewhere and the restaurant isn't prepared for it, the vegan option tends to be the most unhealthy one. Yeah, because either it's French fries or they serve you white bread with maybe some oil that you can eat, or some really, these kind of sad salads, which is just like 3 pieces of like salad leaves and like half a cut tomato on it, which is like considered a salad, but like we don't consider that that's a salad, yeah, but we eat different kind of salad, right? And then you have like, don't be like that hungry that you start eating like, oh god, shit, I'm still gonna eat it even though it's unhealthy and I know it. Prepare yourself for it. And in a restaurant also don't point out to other people that they're wrong when they eat a piece of meat. Let them enjoy it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so guys, if you have any questions about how we became vegan, if you want any tips for special food, pretty much for training, for nutritional tips, just let us know in the comment section below. And yeah, if you have any comments, please let us know. And as always, thank you for watching.
There will be more videos coming up which are really about like different vegan recipes. And the recipes we want to share is not only vegan recipes, because as we said, well, not everything vegan is healthy, but vegan health and fitness recipes, right? That are rich in protein, low in bad sugars, rich in good fats, and so on, right? So just stay tuned. There will be a lot of content coming out. Probably also an ebook coming soon. Yeah, just go for it and try it for yourself, guys. Don't think about why would you want to become vegan. Don't listen so much on haters around you. It doesn't matter what they say in the end. Be grounded in your belief and try it for yourself. Maybe it's not even the right thing for you. I don't think being vegan is the right thing for everybody. But maybe for you it is. So just give it a try.
All right, thank you for watching, and have a nice day.
See you soon, guys.
Bye bye.